All right, symbolic responding to John Williams. John, your video, moderate would-be peacemakers. Thank you for your video response, and thank you for the one you sent about a week ago. I'm sorry I didn't acknowledge receipt of it. I should have, but I've just been swarmed with comments and etc. But I apologize. Um, so, John, you appear to have me and my absurd religion cornered, and I'm forced to sue for peace because I cannot. There is no adequate apology for my more radical friends. The day of reckoning is coming, and I need to choose sides. I will need to choose sides, and I should think carefully about which side I choose. Thanks for the advice, John. John, I'm an atheist. Okay. Um, I don't know where you got the idea that I'm Muslim. Now, is that maybe olive skin color? Huh? Maybe the beret? That's Spanish. That's from my family's half Spanish. See? No, everybody, I am not a pretentious painter or trying to be a beatnik poet. This is what my family wears. Um, um, you wouldn't believe what people tell me about this hat. One guy said, hey, 1970 called and they want their hat back. So, John, you mentioned in your video one of the difficulties I've had, we have with these discussions is people slip back and forth between saying uh, radical Islam and just Islam, and this is dangerous to do. Okay, I mean for obvious reasons. I think you realize why it's dangerous or why we should consider it dangerous. Um, um, you say that Islam has no place in Western society, that they're mutually exclusive, um, unless I assume Islam can change. Islam has been present in Western society for hundreds of years, just like Judaism's been present in Western society for hundreds of years. So we have to always distinguish the terrorists from the ordinary people. I mean, that's the side I'm on. I'm on the side of ordinary people. Whatever their religion is, whatever their race is, what have you. I'm on the side of ordinary people, of the non-terrorists. Um, Now, the terrorists who are objecting to freedom of speech and are willing to resort to violence, uh, as someone said recently in a video, yeah, there actually is a place in society for violent people, and that's prison. We set that aside for violent people who are a threat to society. So that's where terrorists go. You know. Um, But that's very different than saying that all of Islam, has no place in Western society. It's been here for hundreds of years, man. Um, what else? Yeah, I'm wondering if I have to start calling myself a moderate atheist, John. The way things have turned. What I've been disturbed at is the that nobody's thinking. People are just batting back and forth absolutes like freedom of speech, boom, 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 and batting it back and forth. And no one is really doing an in-depth dialogue or analysis of freedom of speech, satire, what this means interculturally. Um, I did a couple of videos before this whole thing blew up. It was just after uh, just at the beginning, before Thunderfoot made his first video on this topic. I did a couple of videos called Proper Targets for Satire, because I believe that satire is a valuable tool to reveal human vices and to reveal hypocrisy and to criticize those who are in power. Uh, Now, how do you use it interculturally? How to use it without projecting stereotypes onto someone from another culture? Um, these are things I think we should the depth that we should be analyzing these things in. But this conversation is just not happening. It's all just absolutes. Freedom of speech is absolute, and it is non-negotiable. Of course, it's non-negotiable. But that's not the that's not the question. I mean, really, what I'm arguing for, I mean, I'm opposed to putting any laws on, freedom of the press, for instance, or if in a general sense, freedom of speech. But what I'm advocating is manners and mutual respect. Now, of course, with terrorists, you're not going to get mutual respect or manners. I'm talking about ordinary Muslims, ordinary people showing respect and manners to each other. That's all. Um, you know, I understand why that you're doing a cartoon as an act of disobedience against the terrorists. That makes perfect sense that's your intention. Um, uh, but people do actually have the right to their feelings, John. I beg to differ with you on that. You can't tell someone you have no right to feel insulted because my intention was not to insult you. The emotion is there. The emotion exists and the emotion is there. And people, I mean, you can't invalidate that. It's there. Now, whether someone has a quote unquote right to feel insulted is a different question. But in any event, um, a lot of it's a matter of empathy, John. I mean, I think it's a matter of empathy and respect, mutual respect. Now, you're going to be doing your cartoon, and you're going to be doing it as an act of disobedience against the terrorists, and that's your intention. That's your stated intention. Um, but your cartoon is going to be released onto the internet, and I don't know if you're going to have a statement at the bottom that says in multiple languages, this I intend this to be an act of disobedience against a terrorist who would dictate to me what I can and cannot draw. Um, and I don't mean to, this does not apply. I'm sorry. I apologize if I inadvertently hurt the feelings of ordinary Muslims. Are you going to put that on there, John? No, you're going to put that on there. You're going to release it onto the internet, and people are going to see it without knowing your intention. You see, and this just contributes to you know misunderstanding, et cetera, et cetera. Um, um, People have to get off this. I mean, I believe people just have to get off of these entrenched positions, John. I'm not talking about the freedom of speech. I'm talking about this almost a jingoistic drive to this is war and these things are incompatible, everything's mutually exclusive, and because people are including all of Islam in this and all Muslims in this, they're slipping back and forth between saying radical Islam and Islam. Uh, Radical Muslims or terrorist Muslims and Muslims. And that's just not healthy, John. You know that's not healthy, man. It's a generalization. I mean, if you just take the word Muslims and you put in there the word white people or black people, you immediately see, or Jews, you immediately see how the sentence becomes obvious to you that it's a questionable sentence. Um, I mean, do that. Just take whatever you've written or said and just replace it with some of those other phrases, and you'll see it'll stand out to you, and you'll go, "Wow, man, that's incredible." You cannot judge all Muslims. We must judge people as individuals. That is also a principle on which our freedoms are based. That we judge people as individuals. Um, what's the use of having free speech if you can't be an individual? I mean, it's based on being an individual. So you can't judge people by their religion. You can't judge people by their race. You cannot judge people by, what have you, skin color, ethnicity. You got to judge them as individuals. That's what I'm saying, and this is all getting blurred in the heat of all this, and this is generating far more heat than light, John. I mean, it really is. Uh, so I suppose that's about all I have to say, John. Um, this is your Muslim friend. Salam.